Hello everyone, it's Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages. And for this video today, I'm going to be, on this initial video, I'm going to be actually doing a reading for the month of July. Because there's a lot of intense energies coming up. And then I'm also going to do one for the weekly reading that I usually do. But I felt guided to do one for the month because July, we're in the midst of some intense astrological events. We have Mars that just went retrograde, and that doesn't happen very often, but it's going to be in retrograde till August sometime. We also have some eclipses coming up. We have a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse coming up this month. And eclipses are kind of like, I tend to think of them as like a full moon on steroids when it's a lunar eclipse. They just can bring up a lot of intense energy. They can bring very sudden and permanent endings to things, as well as new beginnings. A lot of unexpected happenings. So they can just be a very intense time. And then later this month, towards the end of July, we have Mercury going into retrograde right around the same time as we have the full moon eclipse. So we have the double whammy, if you will. But of course, working with the angels, there's always a positive spin and something that can be, growth lessons in it for us. And so that's why I want to do a more specific reading on the month of July. All right, so as usual, I call on the archangels to see who's overseeing us this month or who we can call upon for help. And for the month, I was guided to use the mermaid cards because I was told to go for the water and, the mermaid card. And I've also pulled out this Doreen's original tarot deck that she had made with Radleigh Valentine. I believe she's since taken her name off all of these decks, but I'm not going to throw out a deck just because she took her name off of it. I still think it's a good deck. But it's the one that has all the water images on it and the blue of the water. So, and I do feel like water is going to be an issue this month. Both the lack of it and places that are getting overwhelmed with it. I think we're going to see the two extremes. To some extent, we have already been seeing that. But it's, like I said, with the eclipses, and also there's a planetary alignment that's going on now where all of the planets, instead of being spread out in their orbit around the sun, they're all kind of on one side. and as I understand in my research, when that's happened in the past, it has been a time that's been associated with a lot of increased volcanic activity, which we are, to some degree, already seeing, but volcanoes are waking up all over the place. So anyways, going forward, I've called upon the archangels, and I've picked out two already for this coming month. So let's see who we've got. There's actually two that fell out when I went to go pick. So we have Jophiel with the message of patience, okay? And it says, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So there's a couple of messages I get around this with regard to this month of July. One, I know in the Northern Hemisphere here, this is big vacation time. Everybody's out on vacation. So I think it certainly applies to that in terms of needing patience as you're out and about dealing with traffic, because there's a lot more of it. There's lines everywhere. Everybody's out doing stuff. Things are going to take a lot longer. So you're going to have patience and do a little, planning ahead, giving yourself extra time to get to places because there's going to be an overabundance of people out and about and around, okay? The other piece of this is whenever any planet goes into retrograde, there's always, I want to say, a seeming effect of things like slowing down. And as I understand with Mars, it's kind of a very, Mars is can be a very aggressive energy, a get things done kind of energy. And in, you know, in its positive aspects. So when it goes into retrograde, those characteristics or qualities may not necessarily work out as well. You're going to need to have a lot more patience. Okay, especially if you're launching any new business idea or starting in a new career or something like that. Because of the way this planet's energy is affecting us while it's in retrograde, you're just going to have to be patient with how things are moving forward. It's a time to work out the kinks. If you've got a new project in the works, work out the kinks and kind of review how it's going to work going forward. And you're just going to have patience with people in your life as well. So, and what she's saying is, you know, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to work out for you. They are, as she's indicating in this card, it's just going to need some nurturing, all right, and patience. It's very symbolic that she's got the garden being watered here, because it's very much like that. When you plant seeds in a garden, they don't pop up right away, all right? They need watering. The ground around them needs to be weeded, and so you just have to pay attention to how they're and nurture it along, okay? So now Jophiel's an angel of beauty, and she helps us with stress reduction by getting us to slow down. And that's what a lot of us do ideally when we're going on vacation, is to get out of Dodge for a while, get out of our usual normal routines, slow down, and have patience with ourselves. This is a time to let go of, you know, really pushing yourself towards something. Give yourself that time to rest. Have patience with yourself if you're learning something new, okay? The patience is really about letting things be at a slower pace, not, you know, allowing that stress to subside. Because Jophiel helps us to take time out to enjoy the beauty of nature, okay? And to smell the roses, to appreciate the beauty, and, you know, kind of be in awe of it a little bit, of how things work, and, you know, the sound of the ocean, the smell of the outdoors and the flowers and the plants and things like that. Slow down and have patience with things. So, the other card that came out right alongside it is Archangel Raphael with this message of healthy lifestyle. All right, so, and definitely slowing down and taking that time off, appreciating the beauty of nature is part of a healthy lifestyle. But I do also feel that there's going to be a lot of health issues that creep up for people this month. There's a lot of volcanic ash in the atmosphere. The wind's blowing it around everywhere. There's going to be breathing issues that people may have. The heat is going to be contributing to some health issues or worsening them for some people. And these planetary alignments, it's going to bring really acutely to your awareness where and how stress is affecting your health, okay? So slow down, be patient with it, and pay attention to it is part of the message I get with these. All right, Raphael is the angel of healing, and he does help us to, he brings our awareness, he helps us to, he helps to give us ideas that help us to take better care of ourselves. In this card's message, it says, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. I mean, those are the basics, really, of optimal health. Now, not all of us are always able to do those things regularly. We have problems in some of those areas. So Raphael is a good angel to call upon for help and assistance. He can help connect you with the right professional, whether it's a doctor, a therapist, what have you, and so that you can, it's a time to be working on things. Raphael is overseeing us this month to help us work on these aspects of our health that are needing our attention, okay? Whether it's that your bones and joints hurt, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether there's a health issue that comes glaringly up in your face you can't ignore anymore. It's time to pay attention to them and have patience with yourself about it, because health issues can be really frustrating, you know, when they come up. And you know, as I understand too, with these retrograde planets, I think even Mars, I think it's Mars retrograde, that people can be prone to accidents. Sudden accidents can creep up. So again, having patience with the people in traffic, in doing whatever you're doing, to avoid that. But when health issues creep up, it's very frustrating, because you feel like held back from it. You feel held back from enjoyment. You feel held back from doing what you are normally able to do, your normal routines, getting things done that need to get done. So, but there's always a learning process in it. And so it urges you to pay attention to that. Okay? So that's a little bit about the month. Let's see what the mermaids want to tell us for this coming month of July. I didn't pick these ahead of time, but mermaids, what would be your message for us for July? Okay, I was going to say they're taking their time. So this says accept heaven's help. All right? So it says you've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. All right? And the way heaven sends help oftentimes is through other people and through other professionals. So, you know, I get the sense of stop trying to resist it. Stop pushing away the help, feeling like you could do it yourself, and allow the help to be given to you. Allow assistance to be given to you. Okay, you don't have to be a one-person show. So, and it's also a message for some of you out there that help is coming. If you've been really struggling with an issue, there is help coming to you. All right. I love this little flock of birds that she's got, that she's kind of waving to there, and reaching out to. All right. So their help is on the way. And so it's kind of accept heaven's help, which often shows up very serendipitously through connections, through, you know, the kindness of strangers sometimes, which I know in these days and times, you know, given the upheaval that's going on, sometimes we can be a little suspicious of. But there are very kind, very helpful people out there still. And they are the majority, not the minority. So accept heaven's help. Let's see. Any other messages here for us for this month of July? Ooh. Let yourself receive. Similar messages on those two cards. I'm not going to go into too much depth about that, but ooh, and this one wanted to pop right out, so let's see what that is. It is the Two of Water, and it says a relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness, the positive resolution of a conflict. Really interesting. I say interesting because from what I understand from my research on Mars being in retrograde, it can be a time for revisiting the past, old relationships, including ones that may have gotten disrupted because of a misunderstanding, or a disruption of some kind that took place, a falling out. Okay, so there may be some clearing of the air that goes on and a little bit of rebonding that takes place. The potential for that is there this month. And it's one of those where if it happens, great. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be, you know, back in a really close relationship with again, because as I understand, once Mars returns to being direct, sometimes some of the same issues can creep up again. So, but it does, it still gives us a positive or a potential or an opportunity to resolve some of the issues from the past. Okay, so that's part of this energy that's in here. All right, and a lot of eclipses have to do with endings and beginnings. You know, those often happen at the full moon anyways, but they can be powerful ones when there's eclipses going on that are going on this month. So, all right, I'm going to wrap up a bit of that. The the reading for July and get on to the weekly reading.